I knew going in that once we hit the severed floor, all bets were off. And it happened the second we stepped foot out of that elevator with the brand new painting of Mark S. finishing Cold Harbor, and everyone, not just in Lumen, but outside in his life as well, in the painting. And it continued. Helly and he have a conversation about, what comes next. And they come to an adult conclusion about what really happens, and Helly helping him ultimately get to the solution of trying to find Gemma. We have this insane dance routine with Milchek and the conversation he had with Kier Egan, and just everything leading up to the moment of Mark and Gemma finally coming back face to face down in the export hall outside of Cold Harbor, or in Cold Harbor rather. I mean, Mr. Drummond, I didn't even mention the insane fight with Mr. Drummond and Gwendolyn Christie's character and Mark S. and how they were getting the shit beat out of themselves. And then the elevator ride where Audi Mark accidentally shot Mr. Drummond in the neck. I mean, just again, all bets were off, and I was sitting there with my hands over my face in awe of everything I was watching. I don't know if this goes down as the single best episode Severance has ever given us, but it is without a doubt one of the best. It is in the conversation, and if anyone was to tell me that this is their favorite, I would have no argument. It is an overall incredible episode of television, not just in its own right, but because of what it does for the entire season 2 run that it had. As I mentioned earlier, it completed a number of arcs that we had been seeing over this season, which is a sign of a really, really well done episode of television. And while it didn't answer some of the bigger, more important questions that we have for this show, there is a reason for that. This show is continuing. This wasn't the last episode we were ever going to see of Severance. So yes, they are going to leave things for the future of the show, especially after the ending and the reveal that Mark S. Innie is staying behind in Lumen with Helly and leaving Gemma out of the equation to go back home, which means they basically swapped places. They have basically replaced Gemma with Mark S. and the rest of the MDR team, and whenever we do meet back up with them, it is going to be crazy to see. I'm going to be doing separate videos on a lot of other specific things that were happening in this episode because there's so much that did happen. Milchek and Dylan and Helly and obviously everything that happened with Mark. But as far as my general thoughts on this episode, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was such a well done episode of television, especially for a season finale and especially with all of the hype built around it. I'm going to miss this show so much for however long we don't have it. But for now, let me know your thoughts on the season 2 finale of Severance.